Paul from Mode 7, let me tell you a bit about Frozen Endzone. It's a simultaneous turn-based tactical game set around a brutal future sport played by robots. The aim of the game is pretty simple: get the ball into a scoring zone by passing or running, avoiding getting crushed by your opponent's defense along the way. Players can block each other, and a static player controls an area of the pitch. The game is very much about reading both the randomly generated terrain and your opponent. We've just entered the second phase of beta, and we're proud to bring the game to Steam Early Access. There's a huge amount in there already, but let me take you through some of our future plans. We have a lot of customization options in the works, from special armour to team colour configurations and animations. We're also planning a huge single player season mode where you can immerse yourself in league intrigues, build up your team and take part in a richly simulated world. Let's talk about some of the latest additions to the game that you can try right now. You can control how fast your players are, the areas in which they're able to intercept and block, their strength and resilience, and then you can play an entire game mode crafted around this system. We've got an easy to use pitch editor, so you can make your own scenarios, and a powerful custom game editor, so you can shape absolutely everything to your own desires. We have two very different multiplayer modes and a bunch of variations, online rankings and fast matchmaking, a completely revamped AI with some fun single player skirmishes, exciting in-game sound and music from Nervous Test Pilot, that's me, and even a commentary system that can analyse your play. As I've mentioned, we have huge plans for this game and we would really value your support in early access. We think this version is extremely strong, and buying the game now will allow us to work towards making it a truly great strategy title. Thanks for watching. If you want to see an entire casted game of Frozen Endzone, then stay right there. Hello and welcome to this game between me and Bin. I am Paul, I'm in the green up here, and Bin is in the red here on defense. Now it's my pickup, so I start with the ball up here, and I'm going to try and get it into this end zone down here for 7 points. And also, if I get these blue point zones, I get 2 points, so that's a sort of sub-goal that I have. If I press the B key, I can just have a look at the stats of my players. So I've got a team with one guy who's extremely fast and then weak in all these other categories. He's bad at getting away from tackles, he's pretty weak when he does tackle. If he gets tackled, he'll be stunned for a long time, and so on. Also, I've got this guy over here, Binfield, who's kind of a defensive player, big block radius, big intercept radius, and if he manages to hit you, you will be stunned for quite a long time. Now Bin's team down here, he's got quite a balanced team, as he hasn't pushed any of his stats up too far. He's favouring stuff like interception and evade here, and also he's got a bit of a faster player, so he's gone for a very sort of general team. Let's take a look at what happens in the first turn. So all I did there was just go for a pretty straight pickup, start to send my guys around, and Bin setting up his defense. Very, very standard stuff. So we'll move straight on to turn 2. Here what I've done is just slip that pass out to the side. Bin is mostly concentrated in the middle here. He does have this guy on the side there. We just take a look at him. Again, a pretty standard player, so stats aren't going to come into it too much here. I don't really have that many options at this point, so you can see what I decide to do. So that's what we call a punt. I decide to actually pass over here to his guy to kind of snooker him, put him in a difficult position, and I've managed to contain him here pretty well, and he's kind of boxed in by this block there, so he doesn't really have that many options. Now what happens in the next turn is actually fairly critical. Just taking a look at that again, you can see that I moved my player from here to here. I think he was expecting me to keep him there, so he wanted to do the long punt out here. At the same time, what I've been able to do is run this guy in here to quite a controlling position, and that becomes important in the next turn. So there I'm just kind of threading the needle down there, this very fine angle with the pass. I think I did pick up a 2-point score right up there, but I've got a pretty clear route to the end zone all the way from here, just simply by making that move and catching him out on that punt. Touchdown! And that completes my pass for the score. So what happens now is that we move on to the next phase of play. Bin has the pick up here. As you can see, he's starting up at the top. He is quite significantly behind now, so he's got a lot of work to do. Let's take a look at his pickup. So he actually used quite a cunning tactic here, which is to move this guy down here, wait a little bit, and then send this unit up here to pick it up. Let's check the stats again. This guy actually gets a bit of a benefit when he picks up the ball. He's actually kind of setting himself up here for quite a good little position in order to try and push me back quite a lot. So let's take a look at the next turn. He actually decides to throw that ball right out to the side. Again, this side of the pitch kind of coming into play quite a lot during this match. That's really good end zone play from Bin. This is exactly the kind of thing you have to do if you want to be good at this game. You've got to spot the wide angles. So here he decides to completely switch up the direction. As you can see, I kind of overemphasized my defense, bringing stuff across here to cover all of those areas. But what he's managed to do is sneak that right across over that low block to there. Pretty good move. So he does actually manage to get quite a long way with this, and I do get the tackle in there, but that's not a great position for me. As you can see, I don't really have many options in terms of passing or running, so I pretty much have to punt from there. There's my punt over to the right hand side there, and he picks it up kind of quite far back. I feel like I've pushed him back a decent way. Now, what I'm really looking for here is him to kind of put it in this area of the pitch. I'm getting concerned that he'll do what he did before, which is to switch up the direction radically and change things. So I'm going to kind of start bringing players across here in order to deal with that. But Bin once again spots a really nice angle there. It's actually quite simple. He can just bring this to here. And what I've realised now is that I've completely overcommitted. I was so worried about him getting into this region and sort of leaving this space open that I moved this guy. I was really confident he was going to make the pass longer, but it just didn't work out. So I've now left him a big open space.
Touchdown.
As you can see, that ends up being a total disaster for me, as he's able to run through here and pick up 2-point zones on the way. That basically ended the game for us. I wasn't able to come back in the final turn, and you don't need to see my painful flailing around. I hope that's given you a good flavour of this game mode, also a little bit of an introduction to stats. As you get further into the game, you can balance your teams differently, you can start to do plays that really make use of your different players. You can see here I had players that had bigger interception radiuses, and what I should have been doing with those was positioning them in much better locations to give me more confidence that I could block off that passing. It would have been good also if I'd had a player with a better block radius. I don't really have anyone on my team who has that good blocking. Binfield has quite good blocking, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time there. So again, it's really about sort of setting up your team, thinking about balance, and then using the positions of your players as best you can to your advantage.